Don't underestimate us. Now that we're back to normal.
Now we have part 2 of our Daima showcase. Super Saiyan 3 Daima Vegeta. My boy Jeets never looked so good. Another one at 55%, level 1 links. Going to be running him at the bare basics. Running him in the same team and same event as the Goku. Except now we have Vegeta on the team as well. And we can run them together. He is starting with an 884k attack stat, 459k defense. We do have to wait a little bit longer until we get SSJ3 Daima Goku on the rotation. Another one whose idle animations do look amazing. But because we did trigger his entrance animation, we do have Ki plus 3 and 300% attack and defense right now, while having a 70% chance of launching an additional super attack and having 4 turns of guard. And then also he's starting with 300% attack and defense, gaining an additional Ki plus 3 per TEQ key sphere obtained. A little bit easier to link him in terms of gaining Ki, but again, they both get so much Ki from their passive anyway. I don't think it's going to be that much of an issue unless you get really, really unlucky. Then gains additional Ki plus 2 per non-TEQ key sphere obtained. And then also has a base 30% damage reduction as well, giving Daima, so Goma will be benefiting from this, Gogeta unfortunately will not, or Vegeta's family category allies, 30% attack and defense, whereas Goku just gave attack. Vegeta's giving both, which I think is, for 10% less to have attack and defense, I think is a little bit better. And of course, with the new mechanic being in the game of EX super attacks, to trigger Vegeta's EX super attack, which I actually missed how much damage he was putting out there, but regardless, let's just enjoy the animations regardless. But to trigger his EX super attack, did hit an additional, only 16.9. Only 16.9. Still early doors, we'll see what he does later on. I mean, he is getting a couple of additionals, which is nice. EX super attack being triggered, jumped up to 33 million. Love that part of the animation, is so cold, bruh. The way he just slowly turns the fist as well. Now, Vegeta definitely got that anniversary flair, that anniversary finesse. I think we can all agree on that. Another additional, another EX as well. 47 milli he's up to. I love the fact that you can get additional EX super attacks with Vegeta is so good. Because not only did you get to see this more than once, but the way his attack stat just jumped up by what, 14 milli? Kinda crazy. But to trigger that EX super attack, when a super attack is launched as an additional attack, so whereas Goku is a crit's got to be triggered, Vegeta is an additional's got to be triggered, but it doesn't have to be in slot 1. It isn't attached to any slot. As long as anyone, including Vegeta himself, by the time he supers hits an additional, which Vegeta does have quite a lot of, as you just saw, as long as a super attack additional is launched, you then have a 50% chance for the super attack to become an EX super attack. The only, of course, downside to that is he doesn't have as high as percentage as Super Saiyan 4 Daima Goku. It is a coin flip chance, but you do kind of have more of a guarantee to essentially trigger the chance, if that makes sense. Whereas Goku, there's more RNG to even get the trigger than the chance. So it kind of ends up balancing out. Then, on EX super attack, he is greatly raising attack by 50% and raising defense by 30% for 4 turns, giving all allies 10% defense for 3 turns, which with the amount of defensive support Vegeta is giving out, it does end up adding up. And then on the standard 18 key, he does massively raise attack by 100% and greatly raises defense by 50%. Then on the standard 12 key, he's raising defense by 30% for 1 turn. So you can get a lot of stat raises in 1 turn. Think about it this way. We hit a standard 18 key super attack. We raised our attack by 100%, big boost, and then got a 50% defense raise. We then hit an additional, got the 30% defense raise. That's even more defense. That's already up to 80. That's not even including all the damage reduction, the guard, all the stats, anything like that. Then because we hit an additional and our EX super attack triggered, we then got another 50% attack raise with another 30% defense that Vegeta is going to have for 4 turns while triggering the EX super attack again, giving him a second 50% attack and defense raise while triggering that 30% defense again for 4 turns, while also raising allies defense again by 10 turns as well. But also it doesn't say self-excluded, so Vegeta was also benefiting from the ally support on top of that. So the amount of stats Vegeta can gain from standard supering, from hitting an additional, then getting an EX super attack, to then hitting another additional because he's hitting EX super attack, it all ends up adding up to so much extra stats. Now, I don't think some people have kind of realized how much these units can get because of the EX super attack and because of them layering as additionals. More so Vegeta, because his EX super attack is based off his 12 key, whereas Goku is the 18 key. But they do still both, especially Vegeta, get a lot of extra stats because of all the super attacks they do and all the SA effects essentially building on top of one another. I mean, the stun's a bit jarring, but I mean, kind of doesn't matter. I mean, this video is not about Goku now. But then when activating the active skill, when attacking with 23 or more keys, so you do get a leeway by 1 key, Vegeta will gain 30% damage reduction and a guaranteed additional super. So if you're still within his entrance animation, if you're still within the confines of the 4 turns off his entrance animation, you can have the base 30% damage reduction, then the 30% for having 23 or more key or using your active skill takes you up to 60%, and then the guaranteed guard that he has for 4 turns as well, 75 milli. I know Goku's turn's already been and gone, but 75 milli. Again, these animations are just not going to get old. But that's 60% damage reduction with guaranteed guard with all of the stats that Vegeta has and of course is going to get from EX super attacks and standard super attacks. So it does end up building up to quite a lot. Which, quick tip, if you never want your EX super attacks to lose their voice lines, if you're someone who cares and plays with game sound on, do not turn this setting in here of EX super attack animation speed to sped up. Because if you do, I've heard that the voice line doesn't play. Which is a shame, but kind of makes sense, because it will just sound like you've just, like, fast recorded something. Then for every attack performed, you do gain 100% extra attack within the turn. So again, that's probably why Vegeta's attack stat jumped up so much, because again, he's getting so much in terms of extra stats. And with all those extra stats he's getting right now, 2.12 million attack, 9.35 milli defense. Are we still within the 4 turns? We are. So I might actually try and put him in slot 1. Maybe not, because we're not about to get the key. And this is what I mean. If you do get really unlucky with kind of orb placement, you may struggle to get the key you need to get an 18 key super attack off with either of these units. Not just Vegeta, both of them. But then, because I did keep Goma in slot 1, we were able to find a way. Then every time the character performs 3 or more attacks in battle, which is so simple to do with the amount of additionals Vegeta does have in his passive. Like, we already done, what, 4 or 5 super attacks in his first appearance. Which, because there's an additional now, we have a 50% chance of hitting that EX super attack again. But every time Vegeta does 3 or more attacks in battle, not just supers, just attacks. 16 milli on the base, though. Only 16 milli on the base 18 key is a little low. I mean, his whole point is you keep additionaling and hopefully get the EX. But I guess I still would have preferred if his stats were a little bit higher, even though the whole point is hit additional supers and hit the EX. I mean, actually, to be fair, his super attack is growing exponentially from additioning, and we haven't even hit EX super attack. So maybe it's not too bad because of the amount of times he can super. Okay, no, do you know what? I actually take that back because he's climbing up nicely. I take that back. I actually take that back. Because of the amount of stats Vegeta's getting from his super attack effects, but then also the amount of stats he gets, that 100% every time he performs an attack within the turn. Quite a bit of damage on the super attack, though. I don't like that. But then, because he keeps getting that 100% every time he performs an attack, because he has so many additionals, his super attack stat does jump up quite a lot. Goku didn't dodge, so we're actually dead, unfortunately. That's twice he's done that, 2 videos running. I can't believe Carnival LSSJ4 Goku has sold 2 videos running, but it is what it is. Let's pop my boy's active skill and let him shine.
Final flash!
Honestly, that looks so good. Not a lot of damage though. To be fair, Vegeta doesn't get too much damage on an active skill, which is why I kind of wish he gave more on the active skill. He does massively raise attack temporarily, cause ultimate damage, and he gives all allies key +3 for 3 turns, which is good. And I mean, it's going to help out himself and Goku, especially if you get unlucky with the how much orbs you can get, even though they are getting a lot of extra key when picking up orbs anyway. It would have been nice if they gave like attack and defense the way Rose does, or one of the blue boys from GDC's active skill does, just to kind of go with that support he's given out already. But the active skill conditions for both these units are good. Vegeta's turn 3, pretty sure Goku's is turn 4. But I kind of wish his active skill gave more. That's the only thing. I do wish his active skill kind of gave more in terms of the support. To be fair, I kind of wish all of them, or say all of them, both of them kind of gave a bit more on their active skill, but especially Vegeta's, considering it's only key. As that it does help out both him and Goku, especially if you do get poor orb placement. So I guess that does kind of help, but only in very specific and very certain scenarios, if we're being really, really honest. 29.6 milli though, I'll take that, but I definitely take back what I said about him doing damage, because the amount of possible additionals this guy can do, especially if they're consistent EX ones as well, you're just getting so much in terms of stats, and the amount of damage he does overall with all the additionals, even if he doesn't EX, but especially if he does multiple of them as well, is actually quite a lot. 48.88 milli. We've already done 2 just shy of 30 mil. So already that's like what? Over 90 million already in terms of like actual attack stats done combined. So whereas Goku's just like big number, immediately does loads of damage, Vegeta's is kind of over a time, if you will. Like a slow burner. 676 though. I know Goku gets quite a bit extra when he super attacks here, but damn. I mean, these teams have so much health nowadays that the fact that Vegeta takes only 600k probably isn't that too bad of a thing, but I don't know. Maybe it's for the 55%, but when it comes to anniversary units, even at 55%, they should be the number 1 and 2 best in the game by like an absolute mile. But then to round out Vegeta's passive, the part I did miss, every time he performs 3 or more attacks in battle, which again, they don't need to be supers, they just need to be attacks, which I do think is really, really nice that it doesn't specifically have to be supers. It is incredibly lenient. Not only does he have a guaranteed additional super on top of the additionals he's already got, and again, that's even better with the amount of SA effects he gets, but more importantly, for every attack performed, 100% attack in the turn. Then all allies also gain a 50% crit chance within Vegeta's next attacking turn, which is also really nice, because just to give up 50% chance to crit, now because you're typically going to run, if you have both of them, both Goku and Vegeta together, all of Goku's crit chance with then Vegeta's extra 50 on top, Goku's pretty much got guaranteed crit before you even use his active skill, which I think is pretty dope. Then starting from the 4th turn, Vegeta is giving all allies 20% defense, and superclass Daima category allies guard all attacks for 2 turns when there is a character, when the character is the second to obtain key spheres, so basically in slot 2. And then all allies 30% defense, and superclass Daima category allies guard all attacks for 3 turns when Vegeta is the 3rd unit to pick up orbs within the turn. So it's really nice when you're giving that out to all the units that don't have guard, but especially the support, especially with all the support Vegeta's giving already, like the Daima or Vegeta's family support with the 30% attack and defense, like the support you're giving for 10% defense for 3 turns on 18 key, combined with SSJ4 Goku support. Like, there's a lot of great support flowing through this team with Goku and Vegeta, especially if you have them on the rotation with the SA effect support lasting multiple turns. And then that as well, lasting multiple turns on Vegeta. What I will say is, there are some units that already have guard, or quite a few better units in the game do have guard. So on them, it's going to be wasted, but the defense is definitely nice. For those who don't have guard, I mean, hey, guard for 2-3 turns of all that support is pretty sick if you ask me, especially if they already have damage reduction. So essentially running both of these units together is crazy good. Crazy good for the team. The only thing I will say, and I said this in Goku's video, it's just kind of a shame that Daima's a little bit lacking on units at the moment. But elsewhere, and again, especially with Goku's wide range coverage and some other teams in the game, you can make some pretty stacked teams. But overall, these units both look very good. Maybe a touch fragile at 55%, which I'm not a big fan of. But again, we'll see more once we test them against the harder enemies in the game. But let me know your thoughts of Jeets down in the comments. And I'll see you in the next video, guys. Take care, have a great day. And peace.